Welcome everyone to the Mike Mincey Show, along with the head coach of the Carson-Newman Lady Eagles, Mike Mincey. I'm Roger Hoover, and Coach, a tough home loss the other night against Tusculum. What did you guys learn from that loss?
Well, you know, after going back and watching the film, I thought we played okay. One of our better offensive performances in the first half, and then certainly to score 68 points for the game was pretty good. The problem was, you know, I thought Tusculum played really well, and they had, five, I guess, in double figures, and several of those scored at least double of what they average on the season. So just got to do a better job defensively. You know, we kind of struggled with their high ball screen again, and I don't know. You know, they just made a lot of shots, and it kind of surprised us a little bit. But you got to give credit to them, and you know, hopefully we can do better tomorrow.
You mentioned 68 points in a losing effort. Also, 40 first-half points. That's the most Carson-Newman's had this year. How'd you guys get out to such a good start offensively?
Well, we didn't really get out to a great start. You know, we got down early, and we were down 11-4, and then some players came off the bench that gave us a real spark. We had a group that was working well together, and our press was working, and so they went on a run there that got us back to 16-15 in the lead, and then from there it was kind of back and forth. I think Tusculum may have gotten a 5-point lead at one point, but then we were able to close strong and take it 40-40 in at halftime.
Carson-Newman this season in conference play really has gone at times with how Shire Clark has gone. The last game against Tusculum didn't score much, but then some other players really responded and stepped up.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you got to have. I mean, certainly she's our leading scorer, and I think Tatum's still our second leading scorer. And certainly if they're scoring the ball well, our chances are greater to win. If they're not, then that's what good teams have to do. They got to have somebody else step up and take up that slack. And I thought we had some people do pretty good at that. You know, I really thought Chante came off the bench and gave us some good minutes when she was, I think, 3 of 5 from the field. Yeah.
And then looking at Saturday's game, taking on Lenoir-Rhyne. This is a Lenoir-Rhyne team you fought back in December. Really close game up until the final 2 minutes in Hickory. What can you tell us about that first performance?
Well, going back and watching that film, you know, the first half we didn't play well at all. We didn't have a whole lot of movement offensively, even though we scored okay. I think we had maybe 27, 28 points. But we still had a sizable deficit to an LR team at their place. I think it was maybe 9. And then come out in the second half, we're down by 14. But then we were able to get on a run there. We kind of zoned them a little bit, and I had some people step up. I think LaShonda, that was one of the games she came off the bench and gave us some firepower offensively and got it to 54-50, I believe it was, and then 59-55, and had the ball with a chance to cut it to 2. And then they went on a 7-point run and got back up 11. And because when it was 59-55, I think it was about 3 or 4 minutes left in the game. And so they made that run, and then the game was basically over at that point.
How have the Bears been since that point?
Well, they were doing really well. You know, I know they were competing for the lead in the conference with Anderson, and then they lost at home to Anderson, and then they turned around and lost at home to Newberry. So I'm sure they were very disappointed with that. And then they had Wingate this past Wednesday and won a close game with them. So they're back on the winning ways, and you know, they're still right up there at the top because Anderson now has 2 losses and Newberry, I guess, 3 and LR 3. So they're still fighting to potentially be a conference champ. And you know, here we are at 6-5, and we're kind of fighting for our lives to stay in that top 4.
Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
That was Carson-Newman head coach Mike Mincey. Stay tuned for more on the Mike Mincey Show.
Welcome back to the Mike Mincey Show. I'm Chante Markus with Lacy Miller. Lacy, what's your favorite thing to do in your spare time?
Cheer, honestly. I can show y'all a few things if you want me to.
Show us some moves.
All right, ready? I was gonna run like this.
That's what I'm talking about. Good job. Lacy, what's your favorite thing to eat?
Chocolate chip pizza.
What's your favorite destination spot?
Hawaii, but I've never been. I just see it on pictures all the time.
What is your favorite thing about Coach Mincey?
He got that mad swag.
Thank you for watching the Mike Mincey Show.
That's all, folks.